So, welcome class to lesson 6-6, day number 2. Strong mathematicians can solve problems involving addition and subtraction of fractions and mixed numbers. So, take out your pencil, your notebook, write down today's date, the lesson, and let's dive right in. So, those are our notes. You don't have to write these down because we had these before, but just a good reminder of mixed numbers, what a mixed number is, and a fraction greater than 1. So here we go with our problems and directions. Write an equation, then solve. So a pitcher contains 4 3/8 cups of juice. Antonio pours 5/8 cup into a glass. How much juice is left in the picture? Picture. Look, see, there's another spelling thing. Pitcher, picture. I gotta really fix that stuff, huh? How much cross off and put left in the pitcher? There you go. Now we're good. Now I can answer this problem. So a pitcher contains 4 3/8 cups of juice. Antonio pours 5/8 cups into a glass. How much juice is left in the pitcher? Excellent. So notice I've got 4 3/8. He's going to drink 5/8, and that's going to be how much is left in the P, which stands for picture. Now I'm not going to subtract it this way because I see that my numerator on the first one is smaller than the second one, so I know I'm going to need to write it and do some ungrouping. See, lots of practice ungrouping. If you feel like you got this one before I do, feel free to pause it right now and see if you can get the correct answer. I didn't leave myself much space either. So with that, we will begin. Since 3 is less than 5, I have to change this 3 in. How many pieces do I give myself? I give myself the denominator amount because that's how many a whole gets turned into. So 3 11/8 minus 5/8. See, I gave myself more room to write the answer now. 11 minus 5 is 6/8, and I bring down the 3. If there's nothing, that means 0. So it'd be 3/8. So how much is left? 3 6/8. How much juice is left? Look for my label. Would be cups. So you can pause that down, write down the equation, write down the work, so you can kind of see how those two problems fit and how we got that from this word problem. The width of a rectangle is 3 5/6 inches. The length of the rectangle is 1 4/6 inches longer than the width. What is the length of the rectangle? Whew, got length, got width, got longer, got a lot of words going on there. So let's read this again. The width of a rectangle is 3 5/6 inches. The length of a rectangle is 1 4/6 inches longer than the width. What is the length of the rectangle? Well, if I have the width and the length, it says the length of the rectangle, I'm looking at this sentence right here, the length of the rectangle is 1 4/6 inches longer, which would mean the width would be bigger than the width, which means I would have to add, so my equation would be 3 5/6 plus 1 4/6 equals, what is the length? So I'm going to go L for length. So 3 5/6 plus 1 4/6 equals, I got 5 and 4 equals 9. Oh, it should be a 6, correct? Good catch. 9 6, 3 plus 1 is 4. So 4 9 6, which I can't leave because I have a fraction greater than 1. Or, what should I turn it into? So I would take 6 away from my 9 pieces, make it another whole. That's where the 5 comes from. I would take 6 away, because it's like minus 6, and it would plus a 1. So that would give me 3 6. So what is the length? Looking for a measurement. I see the word inches next to a number, so it would be 5 3/6 inches. So L equals 5 3/6 inches. So you can pause it right now and shows how you did the math and the work and to help you out in your problems. But sometimes, like I said, that comparison is a great way to help us out as well. You can see a ruler now. Let's talk about rulers and measurements. So we got this one. Direction, measure this from the left end of the segment to the mark, which is my red mark, because you probably have to solve some of these in your homework tonight. What is the length to the nearest eighth of an inch? Well, how is eighth of an inch? How does that work? If you remember kind of from our measurement unit. If we count, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts that make up 1 whole inch. So that means there are 8. So we got, here's 1 inch, here's 2 inch, here's 3 inches. So that's 3 whole. So I have the 3 right there as my whole number. Now I count 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So 3/8. And this would be inches. You write that, or that's the inch symbol, the little 2 quotes right there. And if you want to try to pause the video, do the bottom one before I do, that'd be great to challenge yourself. And with that, hopefully you counted. So you have how many whole inches? Well, you have 1 whole inch, you have 2 whole inches. So that'd be your whole number. And you don't have 3, but you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of the 8 parts that make up an inch. So you'd have 2 7/8 inches. So hopefully you got a good visual of that one. A ruler, like I said, maybe even draw like the little number line now. You can use it as a number line to kind of help you get that idea of how we got 3 3/8 and how we got 2 7/8. With this one, last part of your kind of lesson is dealing with a line plot. We've seen kind of line plots before. So now notice we gotta look at what does this mean. This is distance in inches. So we look at all those parts. We have 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1, 1/4, 1 1/2. So notice they kind of go between halves and fourths. So what I would do, me personally, I kind of like them if they all have the same denominator. And I kind of see the pattern that's developing here. I would say here's 1/4. So really 1/2 is the same as 2/4. And this would really be 4/4. Right? This would be 1 and 2/4. So I would change those things so that, not 12, I should probably get rid of that part. Because then this will help me keep all of them in check. If that makes sense. All right. So the question is this: what is the range of the difference between the greatest value? So here's my greatest value. And the least value. What is the range of the data? So the range is between the difference between the least value and the greatest value, and what is the data? So if you look right here, I have information here. So this would be my least, and this would be my greatest, and they want to know what is the difference. So remember, difference is not one's bigger than the other. That would be if we're comparing things in literary terms, but in math terms, the difference means subtraction. So I would have 3 3/4 minus, see, I already jumped the gun on this one, 1/2. So now notice we never learned about how do you subtract things that have unlike denominators. Well, if I went back to what I talked about at the beginning, why did I change it to 2/4? Because 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, I like all of them to be the same. So I don't run into this situation where I'm at like, I don't know what to do. So really, 1/2 is similar to 2/4. As in if I would take that pizza, right? Think about this, if I had 1/2 and I shaded it in, and now I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it in half. No, well, now I have 1, 2 of 4, and it's the same amount. So I didn't change the number. I found an equivalent fraction. So now I can subtract 3 3/4 minus 2/4 equals 3 1/4. And then my label would be inches. And which distance value occurred the most often? So you look for the one that has the most dots. It looks like this one has the most dots, which would be 1 inch. So that's like how you read plot lines and value plots. So I think the big thing would be the subtracting to keep in mind, and also make sure that you have them all with like denominators, so that can help you out as well to solve subtraction problems that you might see, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, on your problems. And with that, you can draw a big line in your notebook, write down box 3, now your turn. We want to write an equation and then solve. So Shayna walked from school to the library. Then she walked 1 3/10 miles from the library to her apartment. If she walked 2 1/10 mile in all, how far did she walk from school to the library? So I'd like you to pause the video, read the problem again, and then see if you can write an equation and solve it. Good luck. Number 2, the vet said Lucy's cat Mittens weighs 7 1/4 pounds. This is 1 2/4 pounds more than Mittens weighed last year. How much did Mittens weigh last year? So you can pause this problem down right now and see if you can solve this one. I feel like I'm missing apostrophes. I don't know if that's right or not for Mittens. Who knows? And the next one, you can write down your ruler marks to the nearest eighth and see if you can figure out what eighth these marks are on and write that as a mixed number as well for these two problems. And finally, you have a line plot, and you got a little bit of some different questions that you're going to need to answer with this one. So take time to pause the video, look at the line plot, look at the information first, think about the questions, and then try to answer both of them. I look forward to seeing all your great work on this lesson. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to write them down or share them out. Also, if you have any strategies that worked for you that could help others, feel free to share those as well. And as always, thank you again for another great lesson.